So this question is talking about, again, our other functions that can happen outside of just the regular audit. So we have, with the rapid growth of cloud computing, many organizations are contracting with third-party service providers to process and store all kinds of data off-site. In doing so, entities are now dependent on the effectiveness of the controls provided by external software providers and data centers that are used to generate and store a huge volume of important information for making critical business decisions. So again, this is happening in businesses. Instead of having a staff of IT people and servers and things like that, which require certain physical components even of your building, a lot of these things are being outsourced to companies that provide that services, that provide the IT and the server storage and all that type of stuff. So then when it comes to auditing a company that has all of their IT processes outside at a third-party location, how might that external service provider, how might the use of that external service provider process financial statements transactions affect the audit of the entity's financial statements? It definitely can. And then the auditor is not going to be able to actually test that third party's internal control structures. They're not being hired by that third party. So then what ends up happening is that the IT service center, the third party, will have to engage a CPA firm that will go through and test their controls and then issue a report. And then that report can be given to all of their clients, and then the clients in turn can give those to the auditors. So the auditors are going to have to use that audit of the third party IT company and get comfortable that they have been tested and that that their control procedures of all the IT processing. So again, it has nothing to do with like keying in the numbers or creating the accounting documents, but it's how does whatever software system process it to generate those statements, and that everything that's happening kind of behind the scenes in the information technology world is working as it should. Then B says, what are the options that are available to the auditor of the user entity's financial statements to obtain knowledge about the design of the internal controls over the financial reporting at the service organization? So then that's another report. It's an SOC1 report. And that is a report on the service organization's design, the internal control, and the design of the internal control. And then the service auditor, so again, not the auditor of the client, but the auditor of the IT company, that service auditor will test the controls and then prepare a report on the findings of after they've tested the controls of the IT company or the IT service provider. So it would be a type 1 report. A type 1 focuses on the design of the internal controls. Then now C says what type of report would the auditor of the user entity obtain from the service organization if the user auditor needed information about the operating effectiveness of the controls. So it takes it one step further. So it's the same SOC1 report, but now it's a type 2. So the type 2 covers not only the same thing as the type 1, it's going to talk about that the design is effective. It's going to take it one step further, though, and talk about the operating effectiveness of the controls. So then that would again be this SOC1 report, but type 2. Then the final thing is, what type of report might the service organization provide to management of an entity that uses the service center to process quality control reports related to the user entity's manufacturing processes? So that is going to be an SOC2 report. So the SOC2 report is relevant to security, availability, processing, integrity, confidentiality, and privacy. So that report would be used to verify that the processing of these quality control reports specific to the manufacturing process can be relied upon. Which again, this is a very relevant topic just because so much data and so much of the IT functions are being handled outside of the organizations.